I'm Cyclon, and today I wanted to know, is Legion still good? For those who want just a quick answer, yes, it is still good. For those who are interested into how and why, stay a while and listen. Now I've run 25 maps with the Legion Scarab, just a rusted one, and my results turned out profitable. But I want to know how this is still profitable and what you can expect with it if you ramp it up a bit more. Also, as a disclaimer, this is purely a take on Legion. This is not a full strategy. I will recommend a bit you can do around it. You can take the Atlas tree, it is part of my recommendation, but this is by no means a final strategy. Please feel free to adjust this and add it to whatever strategy you're running. It's pretty much the only requirement is that you are on the right side of the tree, or at least center, so you can pass towards the Legion, and that you, I guess, if you want to use the Sexton for Legion, that you have at least one Void Stone. Now, right now, the Legion emblems are super cheap. Everything in this league is very, very cheap. But also, because everything is very, very cheap, the Scarabs is cheap too, and the Sexton is cheap too. So you can very easily, for about 10 chaos per map, get 2 Legions, which will turn into pretty good result very quickly. Like 25 maps, 64 chaos profit, and I've only won 1 Legion. I've run very cheap, because I just wanted to test the Legion. So this can be turned up quite easily in profit. I quickly want to take ahead that Legion, the Rarity with the tree that I will show in the moment. Now, usually Eternal Empire and Career is common, Wall is uncommon, and Templar rare, while Barracas is very rare. With my testing, it looked like Eternal Empire, like Wall and Templar now, is uncommon. I have gotten it not as much as I've gotten Karui, which honestly, Karui and Eternal Empire always appeared at the same rarity, or the same amount of time in average. Now, it could have been a result of getting lucky in my test runs. I do not know that, but that will have to be further figured out. Now let's take a look at the tree. As I mentioned, the tree is an example and a recommendation. The only thing that you really need to buff out Legion are the 4 Legion things, chance for an additional monolith, emblematic with chance to get more Maracas and more Templar, as well as face off to get 2 generals if you have a general, and war supplies for additional warhorde, and lastly chain of command and protected battle to have the chance of getting all Legion and getting more rewards from Legion. After that, everything else is optional, of course. I recommend to use Harbinger, to use strong boxes, to use the Delirium Mirror, and to use the Eater of World stuff. Afterwards, you can buff it out even further. You could go for Harvest, you could go for Heist with the Smuggler Cache, you could go for Essence. There are a lot of things that are good, but I really just think that Harbinger is at this point an auto-include because of the high chance of getting a Harbinger boss. Small chance of getting a Harbinger boss, and then on top of that, a chance for getting a good amount of Exalted Shards and Delirium, because if you run a proper layout, you get Delirium, you get a nice amount of Simulacrum Splinters and Delirium Orbs, which always do sell very well. Now, if we go back to the cheat sheet, I've expected the expensive to be about 1 to 2 chaos per Legion Scarab. If we take a look and look at people who sell in bulk, it goes for about 1 to 1. I calculated 1 to 2 to be a bit more realistic, because profit is not always stable, not always good. And the Sextant, which goes for 4 users for about 10 chaos. So that means we have 2.5 and 2 chaos, which are 4.5, and then about 5 chaos for a map. If you buy it in bulk, that makes the cost for my runs a 7, but for the ones with double Legion would be about 10 chaos. Now 10 chaos is very reasonable per map investment, considering that you get about 3 chaos per Legion dropped on average in like chaos or war currency drops, and then you get splinters dropped, and then you get incubators dropped. So the expected profit per Legion is about 81 chaos. Of course, I calculated the splinters at 1C, I guess you could say they're only 0.5 worse. Oh, 0.5 worse, but that is... Did it? I guess it calculated, but it doesn't show it correctly. That is weird. I'm going to leave it at 1 chaos, just so it actually adds up. So about 40 chaos profit still per map, that is pretty good. I would say run it, make profit, easy. So, but let's take a look at my actual results. I've gotten the emblems. I've gotten an emblem in about 1 in 3 runs. I have had 1 run which dropped an enlightened and a cold iron point. I have not calculated that in as a result, as that would make it absolutely high for absolutely no reason, because that was a lucky drop. But 1 in 3 legions drop an emblem, that is pretty good, especially if you have a good chance of getting Templar and Maracas in your legions. You get the emblems there, as they are more rare. If you get an emblem there, that means more sets. And a set in bulk can sell for about 90 chaos at the moment. Maybe this going, when you watch it, it could be a bit higher, it could be a bit lower. But on Forbidden Trove, sets do sell in bulk for more than they are normally worth, so just the emblem on the market. If you run a lot of Legion, I highly recommend selling them on bulk on Trove. So Legion, still good. If you run it, I would say use the Rusted Scarab and the enchantment, the Sextant. That makes more sense. The Legion Sextant for getting a second Legion, because then you have, like, you could basically say you run 1 map, which is 5C, and then 1 Skirmish 2C, or you could, if you do that, it would be 14C for 2 Legions, or you can get 2 Legions for 10 chaos, which is more Legion per map, faster profit, and you use less maps, which is the priciest part in this thing, considering per map basis. We do not have a Legion map device, so I don't know if it's worth it to go for Gilded Scarabs and go for full on Legion. So because we cannot have triple Legion confirmed, we can only have 2 Legions per instance. I would say it is better to just say, okay, I have 2 Legions, I'm going to just use a roster, that's good enough, makes a good amount of profit, and I don't have to fully commit on it. And you can add it up on other strategies with other Scarabs or other Sextants modifiers. All that being said, hopefully this was informative. I have one last question. I'm trying out with the dark mode on my spreadsheet. I would really appreciate it if you could let me know in the comments if you like this as a dark mode or the light mode, which I will not enable to not flashbang anybody more. If you could let me know in the comments, would be nice. If not, I have to accept that too. That being said, have a great day.